Garrett, first half of Texas A&M, it seemed like it was your best half of football in SEC play. I mean, you were really feeling it, and then the second half, not just you, but like the whole team. It's kind of a 180. Maybe like what happened there with the offense? Like, did they do something to confuse you? What went on there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we weren't the same team in the first half that we were in the second half, and I think that just breaks down to execution. And obviously, like I said after the game, I made some mistakes and gave them a chance to catch momentum and turn the ball over and gave them short field and things like that. So, I beat myself up for it for about a week, and then I had to flush it. And now we're focused on Alabama. So
you haven't really been in this position before as the starter here, where you have a tough half, a whole week off, and you got to pick it back up and kind of find your mojo and your confidence again.
Yeah.
How do you go about doing that?
Yeah, well, I think for one, my confidence is in God, and just my trust in Him. And I've mentioned how much that He played a part in me staying here and things like that. But my identity isn't also as an LSU football player. It's a son of Christ, and so that that affects me on a day-to-day basis. I have no fear. I have no doubts, no worries, because I know I trust in Him and what His plans are for me. I hope that He can use me as His voice and put me in positions to do great things and be able to share His wisdom. So.
We obviously knew about Kyron coming into this season, Mason. How these guys stepped up that maybe have caught people by surprise. Xavier Thomas, Aaron Anderson, those guys. I mean, how big have they been for your offense?
Yeah, they've been huge. Obviously, allowing. I don't think people have been able to, just double Kyron and things like that because those other guys have really stepped up and made a lot of plays. So, throughout the entire receiver room, guys have just been, there when we needed them, making plays, and they've made very clutch plays, very big plays for our offense. So.
What's maybe the biggest lesson you learned from the game 2 weeks ago that you've used to improve since then?
Yeah, I don't like to, I've said before, I don't like to share things like that, but there's definitely was some lessons learned, and definitely some big ones and some things that, I'll carry on with me for the rest of my career. And so, it sucks that it happened, but at the end of the day, it's part of playing football. And so, now I just got to flush it and be better from it.
You had Chris back for that game. I know he had a couple catches. There were a couple connections that you guys couldn't make. For him, is it almost he needs to get acclimated to playing again? So, he needed that game. Now he's just going to get more comfortable as the weeks go by, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris is a very good football player, and I think that we've been telling you guys that for a while. I think that he's shown it in flashes, and I think I definitely think he was a little rusty, just kind of shaking things off. Chris is a really good football player. I think that obviously he missed 6 to 8 weeks that he was out, so that's tough for anybody in this sport. So I think Chris is going to continue to work, and that's who he is. He's not going to stop or give up or anything like that. He's had injuries in his career, little setbacks that he's been able to overcome. And I think this is just going to be another one of those, and I think he'll push through it, and you'll see him really, really come out of his shell soon.
Kind of going straight off of that, with Chris being back, he seems like he has a level of speed that like just nobody else has. I mean, what having a guy like that, how does that help you guys' offense, like expanded it?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it adds a vertical threat that changes the game. Chris's ability to go over the top and go get the ball is unbelievable. And so, like I said, obviously, we're really excited to for him to get to show that soon. So.
I guess the other Garrett's not going to play. Dellinger with the injury he has. How has the offensive line kind of meshed and gelled with Paul? I know he's played a little bit, but in practice this week, how have they kind of meshed and gelled?
Yeah, I thought they've done a good job. Coach Davis is the best O-line coach in the country. So, I have full faith that he'll get those guys ready to play. I think that also we have a lot of leaders in that group. With Emery and Miles and Will. And those guys, and DJ as well. So, they'll all come together, step up, and, they'll help Paul out, whatever he needs, make sure he's ready. And, I think Paul's done an unbelievable job stepping up and, attacking this task, and I think he'll be ready.